Welcome to a Return to Oneness. My name is Eddie, and I help people open their hearts. This video is part of the series, The System Exposed, and is titled, The Us versus Them Mentality. Please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And please, share this video and message with your friends. Together, we can change the world, one mind at a time. Now, if you are ready to learn how the system manipulates us by pitting us against each other, then follow the White Rabbit. The system we live in is predicated on divisiveness. It seeks to keep us divided. Why? The answer is simple. As long as we remain divided against each other, we are controllable. And the system has created label upon label in which we willingly identify ourselves as. When did we cease being simply Americans, working towards the common defense and welfare of each other? We seem to have forgotten the preamble of our own Constitution, which humbly declares, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity." Listen to the words our forefathers wrote. They began with a simple statement, "We, the people of the United States." What happened to "we the people"? Doesn't the word "we" mean everyone, which includes you, me, and the rest of us? Today, those of us living in the United States couldn't be more divided. We label ourselves as conservative or liberal, being on the left or right. Now, we even further divide ourselves by adding the labels moderate or progressive. As such, there is even a growing divide within each party. Why did the founding fathers of this nation establish our Constitution? It was to form a more perfect union. Yet, have any of us seen anything that resembles unity on the political stage lately? If you have been paying even the slightest attention to what has been happening, then you already know the answer. No, there doesn't seem to be any unity found in anything these days. Why? The system doesn't want there to be, for the elites prosper when we are this divided. Ask yourself this question. Is there any domestic tranquility anywhere within our nation? In other words, do we live in harmony and peace with each other? No. You may be thinking, the two sides aren't at war with each other. And to that, I simply point you to the term culture wars. As such, there is a war being fought right in front of us on a daily basis. Yet, who wins this war? It certainly won't be we the people. It will be the elites. We will be left with whatever remains after we have destroyed everything we once believed in and held precious. Is this what we really want for ourselves and for our children? Do we want to be in a constant state of conflict and war with each other? What purpose does it serve? More precisely, whose agenda is being served? Let's look at just one recent example. It involves the toy company Hasbro. They made a corporate decision to remove the word Mr. from the Potato Head toy. Before the end of the day, there were people slinging insults at each other. You would have thought the world was ending. And all of this over a toy. Yes, a simple child's toy was able to passionately inflame enough people so that words began to fly back and forth like bullets. Think about that for just a moment. It was a little plastic toy that created such an uproar. A toy. How many people lost their minds that day? And all because a toy company removed the label Mr. from its packaging. The question we should be asking ourselves is this: who cares? For little plastic children's toys are just that. They're toys. They do not have a gender. However, the deeper question we should be asking ourselves is this: if we, as a people, can become so worked up over a toy, why can't we be as equally outraged over the fact that 520,000 of our fellow Americans have died from the coronavirus? Do we care so little for each other that we have become numb to the suffering and plight of others? As I have said in previous videos, our nation is as divided as it was over 160 years ago. But what is at the root of the current animus that is on full display by so many of our fellow citizens? It is the system doing what the system does best: finding issues to exploit. So that the issue in that moment becomes a wedge meant to divide us more than we already are. And all of this is right out of the us versus them playbook, designed for the sole purpose of instilling paranoia in our minds. In an us versus them world, there is always a wrong, bad, or evil side bound and determined to take from a person everything he or she holds dear. And as long as we live in the us versus them system designed by the elites, in order to foster division and fear, we will continue to squabble and fight. For one side will continue to see the evil they believe is perpetrated upon them by the other side. It will always be the other side that is seen as untrustworthy, duplicitous, criminal, and inhumane, while the side the person is on is believed to be good, honest, legal, and loving. It will always be the other guy who is out to destroy and change society. And all the while, the person with an opposing belief truly feels that he or she is on the side of righteousness, the side of freedom. Here is what the system doesn't want us to recognize. When we identify exclusively through the us versus them paradigm of divisiveness, it leads us to selfishness, blame, and ultimately greed. And this is exactly what the elites desire, for this behavior keeps us within the problem, where we are continually controlled and manipulated. As such, we never find a solution to the real underlying problem, because we are too distracted by the incessant creation of petty issues meant to keep the culture wars going, which only serve but to further divide us. The system was not designed for us to come together in order to have rational and reasonable dialogues so that we could find meaningful solutions to the real underlying problems that need our attention. For if we did that, the system would crumble, and the elites will do anything within their power to keep this from happening. Never forget, the elites profit when we are divided. We must never forget, fear sells. And if the elites can keep us fearful of one another, they score huge financial gains. In addition, we are more apt to give away our freedoms to those who make us believe they offer safety in troubled times. And the more of our freedoms we willingly sign away, the more powerful the system and those behind it become. Take a moment from your busy schedule and listen to the fear that is being peddled to us each and every day. You can see it on the news, see it played out in television shows, see it in movies, hear it in the songs you listen to, read it in a newspaper, or witness it on social media platforms. If you listen closely enough, you will quickly discover the us versus them paradigm being utilized to capture your attention. Algorithms have been designed and have become so good that they can target each one of us according to our preferences and fears. Furthermore, the algorithms used by the social media giants then spoon-feed us the stories that not only keep our attention, but strengthen our bond and support with the side that we are more closely identified and aligned with. And the next thing that happens is we are caught in a never-ending loop, being fed a steady diet of propaganda and news that strengthens our belief that we are on the right side. Never in human history have we been so connected with each other. Modern technology has given us the tools to instantly reach thousands of people through live streaming or tweets. Mighty social networking platforms connect billions of us in a way once dreamed unimaginable. However, the greatest tool that has ever been designed for mass communication and connection has turned into one of the most dangerous weapons ever deployed. Rather than serving as a platform that could speed up our collective evolution, it has become nothing more than a vehicle to spread disinformation and hate. Social media hasn't brought us together, far from it. Instead, it is tearing us apart. Social media once offered us the opportunity to unite and create a better, more inclusive future, one where we could come together and find solutions to some of the greatest and most challenging problems that confront us. Instead, social media has done the opposite, for we only communicate now with those who think, feel, and believe as we do. Social media allows people to vilify anyone or any group that operates outside his or her belief system, and it allows people to do it from a safe distance and a place of relative anonymity. Only we have the power to stop this. But we will never break free of the system until we cease maligning those who don't believe as we do. We must learn to communicate with each other. This doesn't mean that we have to like what another person says or even believe as he or she does. It simply means that we respect their right to believe as they do. We would do well to remember the words of President Abraham Lincoln. "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Lincoln delivered this speech in 1858 to a nation as divided as we are today. Many who heard the speech prior to it being delivered to the audience that night were appalled. Being quite familiar with the words, they questioned Lincoln's right and authority to make such a statement. For they recognized the words from 3 of the synoptic gospels found in the Bible, and that is what inflamed and infuriated them. When Lincoln was called out for referring to a house divided, he responded, "The proposition is indisputably true, and I will deliver it as written. I want to use some universally known figure expressed in simple language, that it may strike home within the minds of men in order to rouse them to the peril of the times." The answer Lincoln gave to his critics rings as true today as it did that fateful day in 1858. For our nation is in peril. We are as divided today as we were back then, and we can thank the system for this. But we have a choice. We can bring about the end of the system by recognizing that we are one American family, or we can continue our tumble down the rabbit hole. We can either be free from the system or remain shackled to it. The decision is ours. Please consider subscribing to this channel and sharing its content. Once subscribed, you will be notified when the next video is posted. In it, we will dive deeper into the workings of the system and how it controls what we think and believe, which ultimately creates the experiences we have on both a personal and societal level. Thank you for watching and listening. Together, we can awaken from the system and create a world where everyone benefits, not just a few. And always remember, you are loved, and you are the love you seek.